Hello, this is Michael Paul with New Orleans Scottish Rite College. I'd like to do a video today on meditation, but maybe from a little different angle. I'd like to discuss some of the classic ideas of meditation, but also touch on other meditative practices, even writing with meditation in mind. The idea is to look at a rhythm within us that can help us to live life to its fullest. Understanding this rhythm is what I believe to be the foundation of humans finding the balance between ourselves and all around us. I believe that meditation in all its forms is one of the best tools to helping us discover true harmony between ourselves and our universe. Now, before we start, I don't mean to suggest by the title of this video that meditation practices are unique to Freemasonry, or that Freemasonry has some sort of personalized meditation ceremonies. In fact, there are not too many Masonic lodges that use meditation in their lodges. I should also say that many Masons have little to no information about meditation, and some of those who do and have heard of it do not always embrace the idea of meditation, especially in lodges. But I'd also like to talk just a little bit about the word meditation, as I believe that this word itself may mislead some who may actually be helped by it, and I was one of them. Words have always meant something to me beyond their obvious meaning. At first, I didn't connect any of this with meditation. Meditation was pretty much unknown to me. I knew the word meditation, but not much about how it applied to living. A lot of what I did was done simply by instinct and a natural inclination to go it on my own with things. For example, when I write, I've always chosen words and sentences that follow a beat that seems to run in my head. I've never known why. It's just something that I've always remembered doing. If pushed, I imagine it has something to do with the relationship between sound and music. Music follows a rhythm, which seems to be based on the beating of the heart. When music or any sound connects with someone, it can affect their emotions. It can calm, excite, or have any number of effects on the individual. Music, or certain sounds, including words, can be used in meditation. In fact, some books can be meditative just by the manner in which they are written. Music, spoken words, and sounds in general create vibrations that can be felt by people even if they are unaware of it. We are instinctively drawn to vibrations that are in tune with us and repelled by those that are not. The words that I choose when I write depend on the subtle flow of the sentences, meaning the natural and hopefully unnoticed rhythm of the words. I'll use and or quite a bit if it helps the beat of a sentence. And by the beat, I mean the rhythm of the sentence, the way it flows and sounds in your head when you say it. I'll also be generous with descriptive words, and I don't always mean adjectives. I will normally add these words in a series of 3, with the goal of extending or completing a rhythmic count. Even the number of syllables in a word is important, as they may throw off or complete the beat of any sentence. Many times I actually count the number of syllables in an entire sentence. I do spend a good deal of time writing and rewriting. The selection of words that I use evolved trying, maybe not always successfully, to follow a natural rhythm that flows up and down depending on the mood that I'm trying to convey in what I'm writing. I've had editors in the early days come in and change things that I've written to make the piece sound, in their words, more scholarly. I would sometimes spend considerable time trying to create a mood and flow with my word selection, only to find that editors had completely changed a beat and flow to something that was lacking any natural rhythm. They were technically correct, but it was not where I was going with what I had written. I've actually gone into this a bit with several earlier videos, the one recently on Albert Pike, for example. In my early days, I more or less did what I did naturally, without much thought of meditative writing. My first book was published in my late teens. It was a collection of poetry or prose and song lyrics. Oddly, if you had told me several years before I wrote the book that this would be the type of writing that I would first publish, I would have laughed. I had a complete misunderstanding of poetry. I was a teenager and concerned with being and looking cool. Poetry did not seem cool, and I had no use at all for it. But then I read 2 books that pretty much changed everything for me. The first was Listen to the Warm by Rod McEwen, and the second was Khalil Gibran's The Prophet. These books were considered poetry, but they were completely unlike what I had experienced in my limited reading of the subject. It was not mushy or childish rhymes as I viewed poetry. It was feelings, thoughts, and philosophy. It changed my understanding of communications and opened a new world for me. Reading these books actually relaxed me and made me look deep within myself. This was a type of meditative writing. I realized that this was the type of writing that I had been doing all the while. I just never realized that I was doing it. The reason that I've been going into my misunderstanding of poetry and writing in general ties in with a misunderstanding I had of meditation itself. I didn't know much about meditation and certainly did not realize that one could actually meditate while reading and that certain styles of writing lent themselves towards meditation. But my learning about meditation really started off on the wrong foot, and I say that literally. My first experience with meditation came in my mid-teens. I took a class in transcendental meditation. The class was held in an old area of New Orleans known as the Warehouse District. It was in a very old building, and we had to take a shaky freight elevator to get up to the classroom. The instructor looked like a ragged old hippie who had not bathed in some time. He had a crazy look in his eyes, and for most of the class, he just sat on the floor barefoot, playing with his toes. I was not impressed. I was so distracted by this guy that I couldn't pay attention to anything that he said. I never went back and dismissed meditation as nonsense. I judged meditation based on him. That was my mistake. The funny thing was that during this same time, I often did something very similar that helped me with my writing. I just didn't connect the dots. I often found that by doing something that I call zoning out, I would have an easier time writing. I would sit somewhere and just clear my mind of all the garbage I had picked up during the day. When I did this, I could begin to actually see what I needed to do or write. This was all when I was in college. I remember one day sitting under a tree on the campus, zoning out, when something odd happened. While I was sitting there, someone came up behind me and said, "Hi, Mike." It startled me and I turned around to see who was there. They realized what happened and said, "Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize you were meditating." That irritated me a bit. I quickly said that I was not meditating and that I was only zoning out. She looked at me and said, yeah, that's meditating." I began searching out more information on meditating. I didn't want to become involved with anyone or group who had any ideas about meditation, similar to the guy I had experienced in my teens. I joined the Rosicrucian Order and found there a peace in their manner of education. Meditation was part of their instructions. I also sought out others who provided additional information on meditation. More and more I saw the value of this form of zoning out. I learned that while many have their own ideas as to what is the best or most successful method of meditating, it's most useful when you find what works for you rather than just copying whatever the other guy is doing. What works for one person may or may not work for another. And really, it doesn't matter if you call it meditating or zoning out or eating roast beef. What you call it doesn't matter. But if names are important, and you are a bit uneasy about the word meditating, as you have heard that strange people do it, try calling it relaxing. We all like to relax. If you would like to try meditating or relaxing, it's really simple and doesn't take much time and certainly no effort. So to start, find a place to sit down. It can be a chair, the floor, or anywhere that's comfortable. Set a timer for maybe 5 or 10 minutes to start. You don't need to do this for long periods of time to benefit from it. Sit in any position that is comfortable for you. Some people find that placing their hands in their lap works, or really, any comfortable position. It's all up to you. Close your eyes and just focus on your breathing. Don't force or change anything. Just pay attention to the rhythm of your natural breathing. Try to keep all of your attention only on your breathing. If your attention is pulled away by a loud car passing by outside, or any noise that you may hear, it's okay. It's also okay if your mind wanders to any thought that pops in your head. The goal is not perfection. The goal is just to clear your mind as much as possible, relax, and come to recognize that internal rhythm within you. Don't be hard on yourself, and don't expect perfection. Just try. No reasonable person expects to start exercising and after 5 minutes to have a perfectly toned body. Start slow and be kind to yourself. Some people meditate daily, and others find that once a week works best for them. It's up to you, but routine is good. Pick a time to meditate that normally does not interfere with other things. If you feel that once a week is best, pick a day that is normally open. Say Thursday, or whenever, but stick to the time that you set. Think of long term rather than short term. If you expect too much too quick, you can become disappointed and quit. If you only seek to relax and clear your mind to the daily grind, that would be a perfect beginner goal. I like to think of meditation as a means to help put ourselves in balance with ourselves and all around us. If you think about it, most of the time we go around with our daily lives almost on autopilot. We pay little to no attention to the trees, birds, animals, or anything other than the next meeting that we need to attend, or something that we need to pick up at some store. Meditation is a means to help connect us with ourselves and all around us. It's not a cure-all, but a means to help restore balance to our lives. It is a working tool that we can use if we choose. If it doesn't work for you for any reason, well, you tried. Maybe another time will give you different results. Pressure should never be applied to meditate or not to meditate. But if you are interested in meditating and find value in it, please don't listen to someone who's telling you that you are wasting your time. You're not. Please understand that this video is only a very basic introduction into meditation. I've not gone into things like music, incense, candles, or many other things that help some and are less helpful to others. I'm allergic to incense and never ever use it unless I feel the need for a massive headache. But find what works and is helpful to you. If something in this video has touched something in you to dig a bit deeper into meditation, then seek out answers. Those who sincerely seek answers will find them. The world is better connected than we may realize. Thank you for watching. If you like the videos, please hit the like button and subscribe to us. See you next time.